Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Level Up Cleveland. This week, we have injected some youth into the studio. So we have the guys here from the Motherless Children. Motherless Children consists of Antonio Soto. He is a guitar player and one of the vocalists in the band. They have a dual vocal band.
Absolutely.
Like so many do, we find. And next to him, I have Sam Major, bass, and he is the other vocalist of the band. And on drums, we have Zach Bailey. Say hi, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
What's happening? Thanks for coming down, guys. First time you guys have done a podcast?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. I'm actually really excited, to be hanging out with people that you work with probably every single day and then just to not do that thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about these guys because, it's not just that we go out and we play music, but, I genuinely care for them.
So you guys hang out?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You guys are all buds?
Oh, yeah, man. For better or for worse.
Did you guys know each other before you started doing this, or did you guys kind of...
I go way back with Sam, but we were on bad terms for a little bit, and then...
Bad terms right now.
So let's talk about that right off the bat. So what happened? How do you guys have a riff right off the bat before you even?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, please.
Zach put my shoe in the signal flow toilet yesterday. So I'm not exactly happy about that,
You put his shoe in the toilet? That's a tough toilet.
I listened to the new mixes, and a shoe gets vigorously thrown at me. I feel like the only reason you throw a shoe at someone like that was to start something. So I ended it by putting it in the toilet.
See, but
so the toilet. You're talking about the toilet right here out in the hall right there. First of all, let's make this clear. It's not Signal Flow's bathroom. It's all of our. I'm just kidding. It's all of our bathroom. So yeah, one thing we can't have is shoes in the toilet. It's bad enough to some of the stuff we find in that toilet already. So why someone throw a shoe at you?
Well,
let's hear.
It's a love-hate relationship. Sometimes we were on the same wavelength. Sometimes we're not. And it's just weird.
I always looked at it like those it's almost like having brothers that work together.
Yeah. It's like a marriage. Oh, yeah. Believe me, I've been in bands.
Yeah. So I'm like the youngest brother, so I was like the punching bag of the family.
Okay.
I have a little sister.
In your real family, you're talking about. Yeah.
So I always felt like a little punching bag, especially for my older one. But with them two in the band, they'll be A-okay, for a little bit, but after 5-10 minutes, it's like eating Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving dinner, or somebody says something and then it all just kind of unravels in front of you.
I was going to ask you guys where you came up with the name Motherless Children, but I think we're figuring it out already. I don't really think I even need to ask. I think you guys are that's the fucking perfect name. Yeah. Amazing.
Do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Well, long's better on this show. Yeah, this is long form. We can do that all day long. We'll talk.
So basically, me and Zach, right? Mm-hmm. Me and Zach, we buy a lot of records, right? So we used to
albums vinyls.
Yeah. So we used to before he was in the band, we would show up and we would start practicing, and then we would just look at each other for 15 minutes. We're like, "Want to go to the record store?" Yeah, sure. So then our whole day would be spent there. But as we were driving there, he would play the song, opening track off 461 Ocean Boulevard, "Motherless Children." Yeah, you know. So when we were talking about band names, I'm like, maybe we should be the Motherless Children because I have a lot of fond memories of that. And then a lot of things happened during the summer of 2020 over quarantine. So basically, after thinking about this name, we were like, maybe we should do it, maybe we shouldn't. Well, my mom's really big into, I think it's astrology.
Yeah, astrology.
All right.
That's like the tarot cards and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, and so basically, she discovered that, and then she was like, the stars weren't aligned or something, and sold all of our furniture and ran off to Virginia, and then trying to divorce my dad, dude. I'm telling you.
Wait! Why do you want to run through this story so fast?
I'm not trying to, but it's a little awkward talking about it. But so
So this actually happened.
I'm like, this is not a joke at all. So I would wake up and then there's just a yard sale of all your stuff in the front yard, and she took all the money and then took my sister and then left. And my sister's my best friend. And I was like, damn, that's pretty messed up. especially like after. I don't know, like I don't know what your personal life is, but like the month after that lady left, well, my mom. I'm not saying like that lady. I don't have beef with her or anything, but the month after she left, like I literally would like wake up, and my dad or my older brother would be looking for something stupid like a mixing bowl. And we'd be searching for like 2 hours, and we just all come to the conclusion, all meet in the kitchen, just stare at each other, be like, bitch sold it.
Did that become like a tagline after a while? Bitch sold it.
Every single morning, you just wake up like looking for something. Where's it at? I don't know. We all start looking for it, and just came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
Sold it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not mad at my mom about it because, you know, she's with my dad now. They figured everything out. They moved down to Florida. Basically, I'm the only one still up here. And at the end of the day, I want her to be happy. And if that's what she wants, if that's what she needed to do, be happy, then, you know, more power to her. I'm not mad about it.
No. Good. That's good. There's a good ending.
Yeah.
It's a happy ending to an insane story.
Yeah, but needless to say, like.
But so you're the only motherless child and it was just for a real tiny period of time.
It's mostly the record thing, but like once that all happened, I'm like, man, maybe, you know, like just so I could talk about the story, maybe the band name should stick to that.
So going through that now, you guys do both covers, but you mostly are an original band, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys are writing tunes. What's your writing process now? Does one guy write the majority of the stuff? Do you guys totally collaborate?
It's happened probably every way possible. He'll come in with a song idea and not really know where he wants to take it, so he'll bring it to us. And then me and him will work on it. Other times he'll have a whole song written out and we'll be like, all right, let's power through it. Me, I'm the same way, but I'm like a freak where like when I write a song, I already know how it's going to go in my head. And then when I bring it to these guys, like we jam, like you improv everything. So
does it come out different?
It comes out way different from my head. Yeah,
and you're happy with it though. Always was it one of them things?
Not all the time. So like right now, we were just recording "Flower in the Wind," and like it's still not the exact way I've heard it in my head. And like the way I hear it in my head, it's the most probably.
It's a great song in your head. It's like a hit in your head.
It's a hit in my head.
It's a hit in your head.
It's
but do you know that? Did you ever have a situation where it does come out the way it is in your head, and it's not as great as you thought it was going to be once it's fleshed into a real thing? I mean, I've seen this happen actually, where like where you in your head you have it and it sounds unbelievable in your head, but when you actually flesh it out with the members of your band and the people who are capable of making what they're capable of, it's not going to be that, right? Because you'll never mimic everybody's voice and everybody's sounds the way it actually comes out. So there's times where it just won't. But don't you ever find that it's better sometimes? Like somebody brings another idea to the table now and you're like, shit, man, I never thought of that.
That's exactly how a majority of the time it is. I can't say like a majority of the time, but
it happens.
Especially with like the part song where like he'll come in like, I have an idea. And then Zach's a monster. So like, he pretty much controls pretty much the entire feel of the song for the most part, and whatever he does to the songs, the ideas and everything, it'll make or break it, absolutely. But most of the time, when we all stick together and we just bash it out, it turns into something absolutely insane sounding.
So you're pretty good, huh, dude? Pretty good. I mean, how long have you been playing drums? How old are you?
I am 19.
19. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he can't be 20. He's like, you look like you're a kid. So this is great time to be playing drums. Though you got all that energy still, man. You're like,
oh yeah. I like to have my own style. I don't want to think about, like anything really. Just want to like be something different.
Well, who's some of the people that you're influenced by? I mean, like, what are you listening to, and drummer wise too?
I like it all. I like
the
regular stuff. I like Bonham and I like Moon and I like the jazz drummers Krupa and Rich and I like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, so you dive into the whole drum thing, and
that's my music right there.
Oh.
So it's like what made them good, and Mitch Mitchell too is like what made them good was that they were different. They weren't trying to copy anyone else. So I'm like, might as well have my own style.
Nice.
Not think about anything while I play. Just play it.
What about anybody that's out like now more so? Do you like anybody of the drummers that are out playing today?
To me, they're just like.
Like a Danny Carey. I mean, like Tool. I mean,
I don't listen to a lot of Tool. I mean, I respect them, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, I got you.
But
I'm sorry to cut you.
Go ahead, Antonio.
I remember, what is it? So one day we were at the record store, and the majority of the music that I'm listening to now, I found out through Zach, because the dude's a monster when it comes to records. Like, we'd be flipping together, and every other record, he knows it. He's like, oh, have you heard this since 6th grade? Oh, my God. Have you ever heard this back? No, but one of them was Live at Leeds, right?
Yeah, who?
And he's like, you need to check this out. And I was like, should I? He's like, you need to check it out. So I put it out, opens up a Young Man Blues, and it blew my mind away. So, like, for the longest time, that's the only Who album I knew, right? And I was like, cannot get any better than this, like, this is
you got
insane.
the greatest one, right? You thought.
I thought, but it's still up there. I'd say it's probably second. Live at Leeds is insane, especially on Spotify. They have like the entire show. It's not just the 4 or 5 songs that are on the record. But I finally got to see a video of Keith Moon, right? And so I'm watching Keith Moon play. It was just like a solo of his, and I was like, dude, that looks just like Zach's. So I was like,
wow, you have a wild animal style of playing drums, like Keith Moon did. Keith Moon kind of had that animal style from like the Muppets style, like the animal thing going on.
Well, they based Animal off.
Off Keith Moon. I know. That's why. Well, that's what I'm saying though. But if someone's going to compare you to him, you must have a wild.
That's probably the biggest compliment I can get for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
My favorite thing was the Who have a song called Heaven and Hell, and we cover it. I love that song. We cover it to high hell, and when I brought it to Zach, I was like, dude, we should totally cover Heaven and Hell. He was like ecstatic. He's like, dude, I used to jump on my bed when I was like 6 years old and pretend that I was Keith Moon drumming to that song. And now I'm finally going to be drumming to that song. I was like, okay, it's a little weird, but all right. But then you know what? The second we started playing it, dude, I knew right away. Like, that's game. Yeah, that's it.
So you guys are delving into some of the old classic stuff also, and are you staying in that vein? Are you guys kind of in that old rock vein where it's got kind of an old feel to it, or is that just
a lot of stuff? Sam writes he has like his own view of what kind of music he likes and his influences. Antonio, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like it's the old meeting the new. Everything that I love about the old, and like the more people I show old music to, the more they're like, wow, this is like really different. And I'm like trying to explain to them like it was a different time. I feel like nowadays the main reason why, at least I view like rock in the mainstream, a lot of people see it as kind of uncool up until a couple of years ago, with guitar kind of making a comeback. A lot of people were picking up guitar, worshiping John Mayer. You had Machine Gun Kelly get his own signature. So like it's starting to make a comeback, but like for a while, like I felt like the rock kids weren't the cool kids, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the main reasons for that is a lot of these bands nowadays take themselves too seriously. And that's really what it like boils down to. Like,
they're not having fun like rock bands were known just for fun. That was it. It's all it was like debauchery and fun. I mean, that's what rock and roll was all about forever. But you're right. Maybe things have changed a little bit, huh?
You'll see like you've probably seen a million of you'll see like a million of photos of just like the new bands. They're all wearing black and they're all their arms folded, like taking themselves too seriously. I'm like,
you think you guys are gonna pull into the scene and change things up a little bit, go back to the crazy stuff again?
It's not even like the crazy stuff. It's just like, don't take yourself too seriously.
No, you're right. You're right. I honestly think that'd be a nice,
a nice breath of air,
refreshing type thing to bring back, right? If you're going to bring something back from the old times, bring back the fun.
When you have fun, the music is way better. When you have fun, it really shows in the music.
Zach, I gotta ask you real quick. So, is it the parents, or do you have older brothers and sisters? Like, who's the cool people who let you play drums and turned you on to all this music so that you got turned on to this early?
Yeah,
Somebody turned you.
My dad liked Bruce Springsteen, and then I listened. Then I saw like a video of Alice Cooper, and after that I got into more hard rock, and I got a whole bunch of stuff, But I guess my dad's got me into that, started me off.
Yeah,
and they let me play the drums all day.
Well, that's what I mean. Drummers require to be a good drummer. It takes all kinds of things to happen in your life to be that guy. You got to have cool parents, number one. Without that, you're done. You don't even get to try, right?
You don't get the kit. You don't
get none of that, right? So that's why I said the drummer, and usually the drummer, that's where you practice at his house, usually. So you got to have people who are cool with that part of it. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so many things, and you're 19 years old, dude. You're a baby to be fucking talking about Keith Moon and the Who, and like they don't.
That's my tunes though.
But people your age don't even know who the Who is. They know the theme song from that show. What show is the? Yeah. they know that. That's the only song they ever knew by The Who because they don't know. You know, they don't know. 19? They don't know. I have daughters who are in their 20s. They know because they got a dad who makes them know, forces them to know. You must know this. What about you guys? How about, I mean, we've already heard about your background, but how do you guys get into your music? I mean, like, what, you guys are young, so you started young. Who gets you involved? What gets you interested?
Well,
Guitar Hero?
not so much Guitar Hero. Just my oldest brother. He's, I believe, 24. He had a guitar growing up, and I was like, you know, always peeking around. And I'd steal his little iPod, and I'd find like, mostly like alternative 2000s rock and all that. But what I really love, what really inspired me to pick up a guitar, and I'm not like a lot of people. I feel like I kind of used to be embarrassed about it, so that's probably why I feel like a lot of people would be embarrassed about this, but like I'm not anymore. So like,
Say it.
I picked up guitar because of Keith Urban, country music. I wanted to be a country singer, and like, you know, probably the first Hispanic country singer, but that's besides the point. But yeah, absolutely.
I highly doubt it.
Absolutely, yeah. I was like, oh my god, like this is so cool. Like during that whole bro country era, but then it absolutely destroyed me. Even as like a young kid, I found out, you know, Keith Urban doesn't write his songs, you know.
Yeah, well.
Jake Owen doesn't write his songs. None of those country guys, none of those pop guys.
The
write
real,
their songs.
the country pop.
And it pissed me off. It did. Like as a little kid, I was like,
out.
yeah, I was like, what the hell? So then, like at the same time, my buddy Cole, he was getting into like a lot of hard rock. He saw Supernatural, and he heard the Carry On My Wayward Son. He's like, dude, you need to check this song out. I was like, listen to it, and I was like, that's pretty damn good. So then after that, it was a long spiral down this rock rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
that's cool.
yeah, and then Sam, you want to tell your story?
Well, you know, real quick though, what you're gonna say is what's so cool about what your guys and the age that you're at. You know, Pat and I are a little older, and the rabbit hole that you're talking about, like you guys discovered something, and then you were able to just go online and go down those rabbit holes, and you can hear everything. You know, for us, that when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, wow, how cool that would have been. Maybe not. I don't know. You know, I don't know if the way where we have to go out and you owned your music, you bought it, you went to record stores. You guys are into buying vinyl, so you kind of get that feel. Like there's a lot of people your age that never feel that feeling of going through albums and the smell of the albums, and you're getting to read all the stuff that's on these albums because you don't get that. CDs, you never really got it.
The smell of a new cassette when you open it.
Oh, cassette. That's weird. That's really weird. Now bass. How do you?
See, it's really weird with this group because,
dude, how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So it's really weird being a part of this because these two guys are just completely like grounded in just all of the classic shit, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that I'm not, but I will say that I'm definitely more of like, when it comes to my own stuff that I'm listening to, like you mentioned Danny Carey and Tool.
Yeah.
Dude, Tool, Polyphia, like all of that like crazy new shit that's kind of like springing up and about. And so there's definitely like, I don't know, there's an odd clash of common interest that, I don't know, we make it work.
Well, okay, so now there's the three of you guys right now, and you guys actually added a fourth guy. You have Cody Bilioni, and he's another guitar player that you guys are going to have. So you're going to have two guitar players.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a dual guitar band, and you're not going to have a front guy. You're going to switch vocals, the bass and guitar. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Cody. Now, you guys mentioned before we even started here, this guy hasn't even played with you guys yet. So what's going on?
So basically the idea was, I think it was Sam who started it. He kept saying like, I got a guy, he wants to play guitar and all this. And I was like, here's my thing. Okay, your band is only as strong as your weakest member, right? And what he said was like, was it Isaac? Regardless of who it was, I don't remember. But he's like, he's not a better guitar player than you. I was like, no. I want a better guitar player than me. I'm completely fine being our weakest link. If I'm our weakest link, then
but you're also the vocal player. It's vocalist.
Yeah.
So you have another job. It's like you.
Well, I'm not a
you
good.
You guys both have other jobs too.
So I was like sitting, I was thinking about it, and I was like, if I was the weakest link, then that's perfectly okay with me, because using the logic of your band's only as strong as your weakest member, then we have a great foundation. So I was thinking, and I'm like, if I were to have another guitar player, it would obviously have to be my friend Cody, because Cody like is insane in every aspect possible. He's a badass guitar player, most down to earth dude, won't cause any problems. I'm like, so I started bringing Cody around. I took him to the studio one day, and he hung out with everybody. He's got along with everybody, and then I've been kind of writing songs with him. I've did it like once or twice, but he's got it. I was worried because like I remember when I was like, I have to start writing songs, and it was such a weird thing to do because all I had ever done was play songs, and it was like such a big jump. But he was already over the hurdle. He was ready for the race. He's like, yeah, all right, got these songs ready, got this ready. I was like, damn.
Oh, so he already had some stuff already written that he brought to the table so bringing him, you also brought some tunes.
Yeah, and they were like good songs, and I was like, damn. So like I was right. To have him in the band is like really freeing for me.
Well, don't you also think that being the lead singer, you kind of need another guitar player, because there's times in songs live where you don't really want to be playing this fucking thing. You got enough going on here and out here that you can't do all that. So you have to have that guy here that can play the guitar parts while you're talking to the crowd, while you're doing whatever. Live, that's huge.
It's arguable, because I do believe my best form of communication is with my instrument at all times.
That's fine, except the problem with that is that the crowd doesn't necessarily agree with you.
Yeah.
So they like the crowd likes that interaction.
That interaction. Yeah.
Sure. They want. I mean, now listen. Not every band interacts with the crowd. I'm the first to say that. There's some bands, but that's a totally different thing you're talking about there.
You know what drove me crazy? This is something I cannot stand at all in any way, shape, or form. I was I'm not gonna call anybody out, 'cause I don't know, but I was out somewhere, right? And like they had this big stage. There was a band playing, and like me and Cody were there with the objective of we're gonna get places to play. Like that was our plan. We're gonna get all the bars' contacts on this strip. We're gonna get everybody's contacts. That was like our plan. So when we came back, there was a band playing on the stage. So we went up and we're like watching them, and everybody's like enjoying it. They got like a pretty good crowd. They're all sitting down, they're all like watching them. But like the problem was, they just stood there. Yeah. I can't stand that. Like, why are you just standing there?
Because they don't know. They don't know how to not just stand there. Some of them, Yeah. They're nervous too. Some of them, they're just nerves, and there's all kinds of reasons why. But that's excellent that you noticed that, because you don't want to be that band.
I can't stand that.
You don't want to be that band.
No, it's especially when you have somebody like.
Well, and you're trying.
The original frontman, Mick Jagger, he comes out and he's seducing every single male, female, just in that audience. I'm like, you can't just not go up there, especially after Mick Jagger set the ground rules for what you're supposed to do, and you want to stand there and just do nothing. I don't know.
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
18 now. Oh my God.
I really like you guys a lot, but we're gonna take a break real quick, and we'll come back. That was cool as fuck what you just said. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more with the Motherless Children. A couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Hello, Cleveland. My name is ZM Delgado. I am the author of the Rust Belt Rock Review at ZaccoLantern.com. I want to give you your weekend heavy metal update right now. First of all, we've got 5 different shows tonight, though it is only 2 different events. Let's see what we're talking about here. First of all, it's Ohio Doomed and Stoned Minifest. This is 3 different shows broken down into 3 different clubs in 3 different cities. Friday the 29th at No Class Cleveland, you've got The Obsessed, Apostles Solitude, Black Spirit Crown, and Dead East Garden. Saturday the 30th at Space Bar Columbus, you'll see Before the Eye Wall, Iowas, Shy, Cactus Flowers Band, Slow Wake, and Weed Demon. Also on the 30th at Rialto Theater in Akron, you can catch Twin Wizard. The second of the two events is a Into the Darkness Fest at the West Side Bowl in Youngstown. This is a 2-day thing, the 29th and the 30th. There are over 25 bands playing there. This includes Deceased, Imperial Triumphant, Sentient Horror, Oxygen Destroyer, Atomic Witch, Bear Mace, and my personal favorites, Wraith. This is an excellent event, and you're not going to want to miss out. They even have commemorative t-shirts that you can get a special package with your 2-day ticket. I encourage you to check out these events and any other underground heavy metal events you know, because we got to support the scene. I'm ZM Delgado. This is your Underground Report, and I want to thank you for checking it out. Back to you, Brian.
We're back. I Level Up Cleveland with the Motherless Children. Zach, Sam, and Antonio
Absolutely.
are here. What I want to talk about, Sam, because we touched on the other guys a little bit.
Yeah.
So the bass playing part, right? You decide you're going to pick up the bass. You're gonna play the bass. Now, was this more something of something? First of all, let me just back this up a little.
You got it.
You guys are both the vocalists in the band, right?
True.
So singing, how did you guys find out? You're 18, 19 years old here. How do you guys know I can sing? And where did you start singing? At what age did you start singing?
For
How
me,
does that
at
all work?
least, dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. I just started singing Pearl Jam in the shower, and then once I started realizing that I was actually hitting some of the notes, I was like, "Hey, I can do this."
Pearl Jam in the shower.
I cannot stand singing. I hate singing.
Really?
I do. My thing is the whole reason why I'm singing is a sense of authentication. That's what I meant to say. Authentication. Because I love blues music. I take a lot from blues music, and I wouldn't want to falsely represent something. 'Cause especially like lyrically, it's a lot of poetry towards a lot of things that I write, things I've experienced, and I feel like it'd be kind of a disservice if Sam sung it.
Well, Sam, how do you feel about that? What are you saying there? You're cool with
Well,
that? You good with that?
Of course, like I personally, I know I'm capable, and I think another big part of it is just the fact that, like, man, learning a part and learning lyrics to that part is time consuming. Is all fuck. So he knows lyrics, I don't. So it's just like, all right, well, if you know the lyrics, then why don't you just
Yeah,
fucking sing it?
I understand
Like-
that. So, but do you write lyrics also?
Oh yeah.
So you both write lyrics too?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, do you sing what you write? You sing what you write. Is it fair to say that that's pretty much kind of how it rolls? Right?
For
For
the
the
most
most,
part,
yeah.
we we have a song called Wild One, for example. I wrote the verses, he wrote the chorus.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you guys actually collaborated on one.
Yeah.
So did you have one already, kind of like that you had tucked away? You're like, hey, I have this thing. I got.
Well, yeah, it was a riff I wrote, and I just kind of brought it out, and we just kind of compiled everything till it was a song. And I'm like, well, I don't have lyrics, so what we used to do at one of our old rehearsal spots is we'd buy a pizza, right, and then that would become what we wrote the lyrics on, right?
Pizza
So-
box.
the pizza box.
And we just both started like hammering out lyrics on there, and before you know it, it's a song. And then we start rehearsing it, and then it's something that we play now.
So as far as writing lyrics goes, does it seem to have come kind of easy for you guys, or is it something that, like, I mean, you guys are just out of school, so it's like literally you've been doing this. You had to write poetry in school. You just got done with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, or is this something you always did, write poetry, or is this new? Or I mean, lyrics is a whole different thing, man. It's a whole nother.
For me, it's definitely new. I don't think it's new for him, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I've been writing poetry for a while. I kind of took a short break during the midst of COVID and all that. But it to me, it is hard to write lyrics about, because when I write a song, it has a very much deeper meaning, and it's almost like a struck of inspiration that'll have me sit down and actually see the song to completion. And even at that point, it doesn't even feel like I'm writing a song. It feels more like I'm kind of discovering one, if that makes any sense.
So this is like your guys' kind of like first time doing this as a band. Would that be pretty accurate? Like your first time actually writing tunes with somebody else,
Well,
or have you done this before?
I will say I've been in and out of, like, I don't know, at this point, like 5 or 6 different groups, I want to say.
Writing tunes though, also.
Yeah.
How the hell have you been in that many bands already? When did you start? At 12?
It's funny, yeah. Sometime around then, one of my buddies and we were hanging around, listening to our Alice in Chains and, Puddle of Mud and all that good stuff. And he was like, you know what? We should start a band. And this kid's rich, right? He's got guitars laying all over the place, just 6 strings, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, gee, I should play bass because he already has a bunch of guitars, right? So, for my, I think it was like 13th or 14th birthday, my uncle comes along and drops me a, cheap-ass P-bass. And then from there, everything just rolled, Did
you take lessons or did you just pick it up? YouTube everything.
YouTube.
And right off the bat, who were you watching and like who was your
First song I ever learned was Another One Bites the Dust.
No kidding. That whole bass line just came off with that.
That and then Sunshine Your Love by Cream.
So you were learning famous bass parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, just going that way and then before you know it, hey, you're learning stuff by Muse and you're playing proms, and it's just like, okay.
Did you? Oh, you were in a band that was doing proms and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was in a group called Red Grove. We played a couple of different little spring formals and school dances and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool, And then
were you singing in that band also?
I was not, but next one that came up, I was, and that's when I kind of started. Taking my own ideas that I had bouncing around and kind of fleshing them out to other people. And
so where are you guys all from? What part of
Men are on the Lake.
I'm from Perry,
Ohio. So all east.
Painesville.
Oh, so you guys are all on that northern border right there, but just up the coast. Mm-hmm. Cool.
quite a long drive.
Yeah, well, you guys aren't. You guys, and you're not exactly like right next to each other. You know, there's space. So how do you guys all?
So this is the funny part.
Yeah, let's hear the official story.
This is how this happened. So, oh my God, I think 5 or something like that. 5 or 6 years ago, I met a girl. Right, we started dating. I think it was a year or two in. He started dating his sister.
Her sister.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But, yeah, and then we broke up. And, push comes to shove. And, I remember bringing my buddy from one of my other bands over to our old rehearsal spot. Because, he invited me to come play around one of my birthdays, I think.
You left out a major part of this story.
Yeah, consider the whole major part of it.
Was I not there? Because this rings no bell.
You weren't here for this. So basically,
sorry, Zach.
This was like 5 or 6 years ago. I start dating this girl. He's dating the sister, and we were like, we should start a band. So he like takes me over to that rich kid's house, right? And we're all like writing songs.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. So I had a best friend at the time, and he feasts his eyes upon his woman. And he decides,
okay,
I need to get this woman, right? And he like falls heads over heels for her. But I was like close with Sam, and I like started telling the guy, I'm like, listen, if Sam were to beat your ass, I'm not getting involved. I'm like, this is all you. I'm like, I love you both too much. I'm gonna stay out in the middle. The only person I failed to convey that to was this guy, right, Sam. So after X amount of time, right, he gets pissed off because he thinks I'm trying to hook my best friend at the time up with his girlfriend. Yeah. So he fired me. He fired. So that became the whole like riff where I've like me and him quit talking for a while. But then like when I started playing with Zach, I was like, yeah, dude, I think I know a bass player. So I texted him up on his birthday, and then we went to our old jam spot. And the rest kind of brings us up to here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting drama.
Yeah,
a lot of crazy drama.
Yeah, the first time I met Sam, it was at our old rehearsal spot. It was like 2 guys. It was Sam and someone else.
Yeah, my buddy Aiden Platt.
I think it's like Sam is like a bit of a show off, and not like a bad way, but you can't not notice him.
I get that.
So,
well, did you guys? If I'm the drummer of a band, I want that dude getting noticed. I want people looking at that dude. I want everybody. Yeah, that's the guy I want. You're all supposed to be looking at in my band, because that's what makes the band go, right? I mean, am I crazy to say that? So you're the artistic one. You're the guy who has the seriously artistic-minded guy in the band. You're the front guy. You're the guy that's going to go out there and try to sell a lot of this stuff, and you're also another guy, and you're the motor. You're the engine. You drive it, man. They rely on you to keep that fucking song
Just going.
it's the way it's supposed to be. That's what I'm getting. And the new guy, he hasn't found his niche yet because he hasn't even fucking done anything but write a couple songs with you.
It all came full circle because where we're going to start rehearsing is his ex-girlfriend's dad's garage. That we
Really?
That's our band. I had no idea. That's our band.
So it's funny, all right? This guy can't do it himself, so I cut his grass, right? So it's just a thing where until we finish up this loft, I asked him, I'm like, hey, Tony, my band needs a rehearsal spot. Can we use your garage? Yeah. So
you guys are gonna go there temporarily? Is that what you're saying, or is this something?
most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys gotta do. I mean, especially once you get off this podcast. Now we're gonna be putting you out there. You guys gotta get. You guys.
They never
together.
told me that. This is news to me.
So you're learning it here, dude. So you'll be. So you're the first one that'll be learning this, and then everyone else that watches it, you'll be like right with them and that group. So you guys also have a communication problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So is there some like dislike like I get this weird like tension. I feel tension. There's some tension in the room, and there's a little tension in there. So you guys walked in here with a little bit of tension. So like when you guys come to something like this, right? You're coming into a podcast. You guys haven't done much of this kind of thing. Right. You guys have been thinking about what you were going to talk about. You've thought about all this, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you prepared your brains for this, right? But with all this little riffing and little stuff that's been going on, the little riff that's happening, you guys, what really do you want to talk about? Like what's really going on here? Because I want to see. Listen, I think Pat will agree with me. You guys are three super cool guys. You seem to have your heads right. He's heard you play. You guys can play. So I don't want to see this get fucked up. So let's counsel.
Let's counsel.
Let's counsel this thing out, and let's hash out. So when we leave here today,
into a therapy session.
yes, it has.
Right.
And I want this when you guys walk out here, Dr. Bry has helped somebody today. That's what we're hoping for. So let's talk about it a little bit.
I don't know, man. The
Come
problem
on.
is, it's like I don't know if it's like the world needs to see this. Whoever, like the 50 people are going to see this. I'm not sure who's going to see this.
Oh, well, you better believe it'll be more than 50. It'll be like 85.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm not sure if this is like something that will like, they need to see, you know? Like there's like no real problem. It just, there's like little things that have happened. Like me and Sam, it just,
They're brothers.
there's like some weird things that happen.
You know.
And there are times where I'm like, I really love Sam sometimes.
So it's love-hate? Is that what they call love-hate?
Exactly what it is. But there's times where he'll just do me wrong. I'm like, why'd you do that, Sam? I've done so much for you.
You know,
I've done some bad things too.
I was about to say, it goes both ways.
It does go both ways, you know.
So essentially what it boils, this goes back to when he first joined the band, okay? Their hatred for each other. So basically, when we started playing, Zach was the only one who could drive, and he lives in Perry, right? And this is where this all started. Like when I think about, I'll think about this before I go to bed. I'm like, this is where it all fucking started. So basically, Sam was inside like 3 or 4 bands at the time, and he didn't view us as a priority, which is pretty ironic now because
now this is the priority.
Yeah. So basically, he wouldn't answer our calls. So what me and Zach would have to do was we'd have to drive all the way to his house on the far side of Menor, right against the lake. Pick him up, either go inside of his house, like bang on his door until somebody answered, just to get him out of his house, right? And then we'd have to throw him inside the car, and then we'd have to drive all the way back. And then Sam would not pay for gas money, and then I still to this day, hold on, because honestly, still to this day, I don't know what Zach's talking about. Well, that's a lie. Besides the crack, but I think that was your cymbals.
The crack?
He was
Who's smoking crack?
No.
Yeah, I was like,
what?
Man, we're smoking crack in here.
He was stealing his mom's, not stealing, but he was using his mom's car, right? Like his mom's minivan or whatever.
Who was doing this?
Zach. He was driving. So he's like, you're wasting my mom's gas. And Sam would apparently have no respect for his mom's car. So like his amp would just be flying around, breaking shit.
My mom's car is fucked up. It has a bunch of holes in it. And it's like
From the amp flying around, or no? It was
Your
fun.
mom's car is perfectly functional.
it's not though. It's there's where are the holes from? But the problem is, it's like
The problem.
there's no there. I guess there's no problem.
I mean, you guys. I mean, here's the thing. All this kind of stuff you guys have talked about so far doesn't seem very important. None of it, really. It's all
Right.
it's all little stuff that just irritates
right.
you guys.
Yeah,
all right.
it just builds up between
Yeah, it's
the two of
irritation
them.
type
Yeah.
shit. It's like when you're in a, okay. So first of all, every band we've ever had in here, and I'm talking, if you guys ever watched the show, a lot of these guys have been in bands for 30, 40 years. All right,
Yeah.
they all have the same story. This is a marriage. This is a marriage. But you guys don't know nothing yet about marriages, but you guys refer to it as brothers, sister type thing, right? It's like that thing, but it's more like a marriage is what it really is. This is something that you have all these different personalities, you have all these different ideas, all these different everythings, and somehow you got to create one out of that. And the more people you add to it, the more complex and complicating it gets. It's why you see so many 3 power trio bands out there, because it's easier to get along with 3 guys.
It's like I want to say something real good though. I'm lucky to be in this band for sure. I don't want we've had some weird times, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy in this band because me and Antonio, we get along in a great way. We like the same kind of music. He's a lot smarter than me, so I get to learn stuff, And Sam's his own guy.
But you guys are the rhythm section. You guys are, that's the problem. That's the only problem. It might not be a problem. It actually might be a blessing. Sometimes it works out that way, right? Some kind of a riff between 2 guys turns into an artistic blessing somehow.
It does.
You know what I mean? It's like, but you guys do have to at some point.
Yeah, we're people.
You guys are the rhythm section. You guys are the bass drums.
But one thing happens. One more thing I have to say. When we play live, and there's times where either Sam or Antonio looks at me and we lock up during an improv, and that makes every problem worth it.
It's fun. It just makes the fun that comes from that.
The problems aren't anything, because when we play live and we start improving and me and Sam lock up, me and Antonio,
Yeah, that
nothing's
is,
better than that.
that's what makes this whole entire band thing fun, man. Is that kind
And
of
the
stuff.
people
like
that see that show saw one thing that no one else ever saw.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So it's worth it.
And maybe
100%.
and you will never see it again because it's one of those spontaneous
Exactly.
type things that all happens.
So I don't want to
Comes and goes.
I don't want to talk about the bad parts, because the
Well,
good parts make it worth it. But you're right.
I love
everything
that.
you've said, yeah.
I love that you just said that. I really do. I think that's fucking sweet. You just said that because I think therapy is working. Is there anybody you might compare yourself to and
Hopefully
say
no one.
Well, I get that. You don't want to.
Yeah.
But has anyone ever said, "Oh, that sounds," or one part or anything like that, just to get an idea of what it?
When it comes to the stuff I've been writing lately, it's definitely been a little lighter. So we might be crossing into a Zeppelin 3.
He's very melodic. When he
Oh,
plays
so
on
you're
the
playing
acoustic.
a lot of clean instruments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Not a lot of distortion. Kind of tone it down a little bit to.
Yeah, most of the songs we were recording for the album now is been mostly rockers, as far as I'm concerned. It's been really hard edge hitting, but I've been kind of taking a step back and really picking up the acoustic guitar, which I learned to play on to begin with, and I've just been writing with that. So from there, we're going to find out really where we stand. On my part, what these guys do with it, beyond me.
Antonio is very melodic, especially on the acoustic guitar. So I might have to change my style, but that's all right. It's a challenge.
I think if he was a guitar player, he would be a better guitar player than me.
Do you play guitar? Can you pick up guitar and play it?
I can't play it well.
That's a lie.
Honestly,
I love when you guys do this.
It's a thing where it's I've never really had a functional one just to mess with.
You toy around.
I've had a bass, so I just play bass.
You're a bass player. Mm-hmm. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But do you play with the pick or your fingers?
I do both, man.
Oh, do you?
I'll do that. I'll do slap, but not for this.
Well, the reason I'm asking, do you ever find that you play the bass somewhat like a guitar sometimes, like a Lemmy or
definitely.
something?
Whenever I pick up a pick, that's normally the way that it ends up going. To be honest with you, but when you jump back into fingers, it kind of locks you into it a little bit more, I would say.
Are you guys more of a riffy band, or are you kind of more of a open chord type? You know, like, how would you describe
I would
yourselves like
say
that?
definitely riffs.
You guys have a lot of
Definitely.
like catchy riffs. He tries to go after the real catchy riff.
One
type
thing about Antonio real fast. So he says like, and Sam would be better on guitar, but Antonio is so good. Like I was listening to Jimi Hendrix. There's a song on Electric Ladyland called 1983. He played this lick that I was like, that's the Antonio lick. You know?
I've never heard Electric Ladyland. So
I'm like, I wish Antonio would just have this attitude, like, yeah, I'm the best fucking guitar player in the world. You know?
Well, you know, not everybody thinks that way. I think
You're right.
Antonio finds himself more of an artist. I think he likes the idea of creating.
He does
from
but-
nothing. You know, taking this nothing and creating it. And for him, it's not nothing because it's already, like I say, it's already here. It's already there. He just got to figure out how to like get it out of here so everyone knows what's up here, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to.
If only he heard himself like we do. You know?
Yeah.
He's so good.
Well, he's also
He's shaking his hair right
We're
now.
talking in third person. I love this.
Yeah, Antonio's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. That's like, I'm like, right there.
Seriously, I wish he heard him like we do.
I think you guys stick this thing out, stick this thing through. You guys are super cool dudes. For guys under 20 years old, you're maybe the three coolest fucking guys I've ever met. I mean, seriously. I mean, you guys have a plethora of knowledge about stuff from the 60s and 70s that people your age don't, which is going to help you so much through this journey. I mean, seriously. I mean, knowing that stuff and having those roots, it's going to help you immensely. So I really hope the best for you guys. I really do. I think this is a beginning point. We like to see the new guys coming up, and hopefully we can launch them off into a decent career. But all right, keep an eye out for the Motherless Children, and that's going to be it for us. We're going to close it up. You guys got anything you want to say?
We love you.
Oh,
Love you, Brian.
We appreciate this.
thank you. And Pat too.
And Pat too.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Sure.
don't forget
Nice
Pat.
love
Yeah, I know. Zach loves him for sure.
It's good to do this. My old band never got to this point, so this is good.
All right, guys. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Man, have
All
a
right,
good
we're out. We'll see you guys later.
That'll be fine.